are in rural Hungary, 100 miles or more from Budapest, where Mother Nature takes on the moods of a pastoral poem and provides abundantly for those who are content with the simpler things of life. Over 3/4 of Hungary's land is devoted to agriculture. Sheep, cattle, horses, and grain are the chief exports, for which Italy and Germany, mainly because of their proximity, are the largest consumers. Wash Day in rural Hungary is general meeting day for the housewives, who gather along the banks of picturesque streams and turn the toil of the day into a session of gossip. Geese in particular occupy a most important part in Hungarian domestic economy. They are highly esteemed for the table, and their feathers serve a variety of useful purposes. In the quiet little villages, the inhabitants still cling to the customs as well as the costumes of their ancestors, who walked and talked in these quaint little settings centuries ago, very much as they do today. The rural districts have stubbornly resisted conventional and machine-made clothes. These elaborate costumes, however, are used only on special occasions, not the least popular of which is going to church on Sundays. The predominating religion of Hungary is Roman Catholicism, and particularly in the rural districts, Sunday Mass is the great event of the week. Aside from being a house of worship, the church also affords an excellent meeting place for friends and neighbors who turn out in their Sunday best, animating the lanes and highways with a pageantry of color and style that is typical of rural Hungary. Incidentally, the wealth and prestige of Hungarian peasant girls is often determined by the number of lace petticoats they can afford to wear. Under their colorful Sunday skirts, which may have been worn by their grandmothers, they may wear from 10 to 20 petticoats. Clinging tenaciously to the traditions of old Hungary, these hard-working people represent the backbone of their country, and the simple, healthful, and righteous lives they live are indicative of Hungary's strength and pride of race. On Sunday afternoons, it is customary for the village folk to assemble in festive groups for folk singing and folk dancing, the chief diversions of rural Hungary. And needless to say, it is at such functions that kindred spirits meet and matrimonial matches are made. The national dance of Hungary is known as the Csárdas, and it derives its name from the Magyar word csárda, meaning a roadside inn. Here, the gaily clad peasant dancers enact a subtle drama of love, jealousy, and reconciliation, accompanied by the wild strains of gypsy music. Even in this festive environment, the industrious Hungarian housewife continues with her household duties, artfully blending the spirit of work with the spirit of play. Following the Csárdas, there is feasting and romancing until the late hours of the Sabbath. Then comes Monday morning, and the toil of the week begins again. We are now on the bleak plains of Hungary, known as the Puszta, where horses, sheep, and cattle engage the attention of the Zikos, or cowboys. Aside from providing water for the livestock, the well or watering trough is a meeting place and social center for the cowboys of the Puszta, proud, fearless, self-respecting men who spend their days and nights attending enormous herds of horses, cattle, and sheep which graze on the wind-swept plains. Hungary takes great pride in the breeding of horses, and there are few racetracks in Europe from which Hungarian horses have not taken highest honors for speed and endurance. Like the cowboys of North and South America, the Zikos of Hungary have been romanticized in song and story. Their long capes are made of sheepskin or heavy felt, and they are worn winter and summer in all kinds of weather. It is said that one of these cloaks can outlast the lifetime of its owner. The Zikos are practically independent of the outside world, where they provide for themselves through their own labor most of the food and clothing they require. Many of them are directly descended from the nomadic Asian race of Magyars, who crossed the Carpathian Mountains in search of fresh pastures 1,000 years ago. In contrast to the lonely life of the Zikos is that of the farmers who toil near to civilization and commemorate their bountiful harvests with a harvest festival, which takes place each year on the last day of the harvest. On this festive day, the reapers dress in their most colorful costumes and walk out into the fields, carrying with them a huge loaf of bread and the so-called harvest wreath, symbolizing the transmutation of grain to bread. At the close of the day, the harvest wreath is presented to the owner of the fields, and he hangs it over his dining room table, where it remains until the next harvest, which, please God, he prays, may be as good as this one. Before leaving the fields, a very solemn ritual takes place, in which the huge loaf of bread is cut up and distributed among the reapers. This ceremony symbolizes the importance of grain in producing the manna of life. Each slice of bread is eaten in a spirit of solemn respect and gratitude, a simple but profound custom, which is a great tribute to these children of nature, who have found in the art of simple living something which all the complicated machinery of modern civilization has not brought to us. And it is with this thought that we most reluctantly say, farewell to rural Hungary.